How's it going, guys? It's Mike Norris. I'm here today with Jenna Wilson, founder and CEO of Civility. How's it going, Jenna?
Hey, it's going well. How are you?
I'm doing well as I can in quarantine. You know how it goes.
Amen. Yeah, I'm counting down till happy hour.
Seriously. Well, I'm very excited to have you on today because honestly, we haven't really covered this topic at all, really, on any of these previous shows that we've done before. And as far as communication goes, I mean, everyone communicates every day to everyone that they meet. And so I enough about me trying to introduce it. Why don't we talk about you, your background, and what it is you do?
Yeah, I think how you explained it is spot on. You know, we communicate every day, but we don't really know how to productively communicate. So every single talk that I start out with, I always say, you know, communication is the backbone of our society. It is the number one skill set that employers look for in employees. It's the secret ingredient to successful and working relationships, and yet no one really knows what it looks like. So I always say that I'm on a mission to redefine communication in the workplace. This started probably about 5, 6 years ago, when I started studying it in undergrad. Human communication was always interesting to me because people are so different. They're pretty challenging most of the time. And I continued that research and that study into my master's program at Northwestern, which is how I springboarded into my career at Civility now. So I host seminars, public speaking events about what communication is, and then I also host workshops and consulting services to help employers and managers and employees implement good, effective communication in the workplace.
Excellent. So, I mean, obviously, pretty much everyone can use this, as I said before, but what are some practical applications that maybe an entrepreneur, business owner, or small business might use your services for?
Yeah, I think that's the sweet spot that I found. You know, as large corporations, sometimes there's too much red tape there, and you know, you're bringing in, you know, big services, learning and development programs, diversity and inclusion trainings. So where I've really focused my niche is in those small businesses and those entrepreneurs, solopreneurs who, you know, they would rather just like call up someone and they're like, hey, I have a contractor who won't pay me on time. Like, what the heck can I do? And then I'll start coaching them through, okay, maybe don't say that because it's a little rude. You probably will never get paid, but we could, lighten it up, if you will. Sure. I don't want to say dumb it down, but, you know, be a little bit more nice or simple.
I might need some of your coaching.
Yeah, exactly. So whether you're being, you know, you need to be paid on time, or whether it's people not showing up to work. Another big one that I've started to hear a lot with small business owners and solopreneurs are, you know, they're working so hard to build this brand, and then they're engaging with freelancers and contractors and interns who don't have that same affinity for the work that they've put in. So it's really frustrating for them because, you know, they're up all night working, you know, 24/7, and yet these people won't even show up on time or won't even meet a deadline. So how do we communicate, you know, their values and how they feel so strongly about their brand and their reputation to people who are really just there looking for a paycheck? So those are some of the conversations that I'm handling as well.
So can I ask you for some tips, not to put you on the spot and not to give away, you know, the whole pie for free or anything, but are there some general tips that maybe people can use in general conversation that maybe go a long way?
Yeah. Shameless plug, because I do post them on my Instagram. So if you follow me at Career Civility, I post just some examples, and they seem really trivial and kind of like stupid. Like, yeah, okay, duh, I would say that. But a lot of times you don't say it very often. And I even noticed now that I'm co-working with my fiance, you know, I've noticed that he'll say things as, so what I'm hearing is, and even just changing that phrase from, well, you're saying, to what I'm hearing is, it kind of takes them off the defense, and then they'll continue to speak, and you can continue to reiterate that phrase. So what I'm hearing is that right? It, you know, totally changes the dynamic of the conversation, and you're able to actually understand what they're saying.
I love that. You kind of diffuse it, even though you're, you know, maybe you don't agree, but you're not being combative.
Exactly. And especially with, I deal with upset clients at times too. And it's really trying to get down to what are they angry about, because what you're hearing could be one thing, but really what they're angry about is something that doesn't even have anything to do with your business. It just happened to be that day that you're on a meeting with them, So
Sure.
Definitely diffusing the situation, de-escalating is something. And like I said, sometimes when I post the phrases, in my experience, or how I understand this. It sounds very trivial, but it really does de-escalate the situation.
I love that. I love that so much. I see a lot of similarities between some of that and sales, actually. If you're a salesman and you're engaging people, you want to hear them out, you want to hear their concerns, whatever their problems are, and then kind of give them a solution based on that. Do you agree?
100%. When I was in my undergrad, I received my degree in communication and a certificate in civil communication. And, it's like, oh, why do you have a communication degree? Like, what are you going to do with that? And I think the segue into sales was natural for me. So I spent 5 years of my career specifically in sales, and you learn that you need to communicate better with people, because you're not going to close that sale, and you're not going to be able to sell to anyone if you don't listen, if you don't, take their guard down, form those relationships with them, understand that they're human too. And that has definitely bled into career civility as well.
Oh, that makes a ton of sense.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you'd like to touch on with our audience before we go here? It's okay if there's not. I don't mean to put you on the spot.
I was going to say, the one thing is just like, don't be an asshole. Communicating is, you learn it in kindergarten, and it's think before you speak. And, if you don't really want to dedicate a bunch of resources to learning how to be a better communicator, just don't be an asshole.
I love that. I think that's a good general rule to live by no matter what.
Yeah. Amen.
So if people want to reach you, Jenna, what's their best way of getting in contact with you?
I'm very open. Like, I think email is definitely the best way. I'm constantly refreshing my email. It is a bad habit of mine. So Jenna@careercivility.com is my email. I am often on Instagram as well, except when I get too heads down in my work. I try to stay pretty up to date on Instagram. And then, if we build a close enough relationship, you can always call or text me as well. So there's really, I'm a salesperson at heart, so you can reach me anytime.
Perfect. Well, you got at least one more new follower out of this, because I think, even though I know I understand it might seem petty to post, but I love that kind of stuff personally. And like I said at the beginning, there's a reason I had you on, and this stuff it's perfect. And communication is just, especially in a leadership position, to be able to coach people through various things and not feel bad about making mistakes, but being constructive and addressing problems. It's something I think we can all get better at, myself included. And, for that reason, I will be following.
Awesome. Well, it's always a work in progress, and I'm not perfect either. We always have a running joke, like, it's ironic that the communicator can't communicate always. So I constantly have to remind myself of that too. It's hard.
I believe it. Well, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Bye, guys.